Hey, hey, Judy.
Hi, Lisa. It's good to see you again.
You too.
A
So,
whole week. Wow.
a whole week, exactly. So it's
Yeah.
been, I was listening to a podcast today, and
Of
one of
course
the
you
things,
were.
of course, I was. I mean, when you are somebody who listens to podcasts, it's fun to do a podcast because I think to myself, who like me is listening to us?
Right?
Isn't that cool?
Exactly.
That is so
Yeah.
cool. Um, And when you care about something as much as we care about writing, it's easy to talk about it in all different sorts of ways over and over and over and over again.
Exactly. It's never exactly the same. It's always with a little bit of enhancement or a little bit of, you know,
Somebody said, what could I talk to somebody about? And if you go somewhere and you find you don't know anybody, what are the questions you ask to find out if you have a connection with somebody?
mhm,
And I like to ask people about their career because if they're a
mhm,
teacher, we quickly and automatically have a bond.
right?
Do they like to garden?
Uh-huh.
Once again, immediately we have a bond. And do you like to write? And
hmm
if they check any of those boxes, I can sit down with that person and or not
Talk for
just write
hours.
even if they create or contribute things.
Right.
I was at a retirement party a couple weeks ago, and I found a woman who her and her husband make independent films.
Oh.
Fascinating. I could have sat there and talked to her all night long. And
Uh-huh.
I felt kind of bad because I, I, I felt after a while, it's like, maybe I'm just grilling this woman. Maybe she feels like I'm kind of creepy because I just found her so fascinating. And,
Yeah. One
you know,
question after another, right? And every answer
exactly.
was just you hung on her words. I've
Yeah,
been
it
in
was
that
just
spot. It's
really
wonderful.
interesting. And so writing is one of those things that, yeah, I just really find other people's stories fascinating. And that's what we're going to get into today.
Well, you said something about podcasts, and what I have found since we've been doing podcasts is that if I have a task to do and I'm really not looking forward to it, like I was raking the breeze out and back, and
Mhm,
I thought,
mhm,
oh, this is going to take me forever. And I put on three podcasts and I had them go one to the other to the other.
mhm.
I mean, I felt like I was out there for 10 minutes and my project was
Exactly.
done. It was wonderful. It was better than books on tape because it was things I really wanted to hear, but
Right.
I hadn't made the time. And it was just fun. So anyway, there's fun again, but I don't care. It is fun. Makes the work painless.
Yeah, well, if not painless, at least go by quickly, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So today we are talking about your story matters
hmm
and the stories of your loved ones matter. And we're going to talk about how to make sure that those stories aren't lost.
Perfect. I think that's a great topic.
So, I mean, I've been so excited about today's podcast because we've had people say, love listening to you, love reading your stories on your blog. This is so much fun. I've had so many people say, yeah, I follow you. I never comment, but I read everything you guys put down. And it's like,
Do you accuse
seriously,
them of being stalkers?
stalkers. Yes, exactly. And we have lots and lots and lots of stalkers. So
I
just to,
know.
I'm just going to put it out there. If you are one of our stalkers, just push the like button or you like and follow, right? Please
Right.
like and follow. That helps us, it helps the algorithm. So more people get to know us and follow us. And,
Plus,
you
it
know, the,
makes us feel like $1 million that somebody's
yeah.
out there. Hello, hello.
Hello,
And it's
hello, hello. So today we're going to talk about how you and the people you love, perhaps the people on your Christmas list, can get their stories down for posterity's sake. So
Hmm,
it's something that we are passionate about. And, most of the writing that we do is not fiction writing. We don't necessarily write poetry on a regular basis, though we have been known to write a poem or two, maybe just one.
maybe one. Yeah.
Um, But really, we love writing about our own life experiences. Now, we don't put it into a memoir form where it's a story that carries on that's all connected towards a goal of showing somebody's change in life, or they're overcoming a goal or overcoming an obstacle, or living through and coming out the other side of some type of life challenge. But our stories are nonetheless incredibly valuable. And when I talk to people, they're like, oh, that's so fascinating. And it's like, yeah, you too can get your life stories down.
Isn't
And
that
it
funny? They
can be kind
say,
of,
that's so cool. I
yeah.
mean, I'd love to do something like that. And
And
you
then,
can, absolutely.
and what's so fascinating is we've had an offer out several times that, people have enjoyed the 1 year of working with the Sidetracked Sisters prompts. And after
Correct.
that, in that 1 year, you get a prompt every week that you can use or not. You can write about whatever you want. And then after 52 weeks, you get a book. And it's
Well, you
filled with,
actually, let me just correct you, Lisa. You get a prompt for every day. So you could literally write, we give them 30 prompts for the month of September, 31 for the month of October. So they only, if they're going to do a weekly post or a weekly
writing.
entry, they only have to do 4 of those. So there's plenty of suggestions. So, they really, out of 30 some ever, we can find at least 4, right?
At least 4. The goal is to write 52 items,
Entries,
and
yeah.
that turns into a book. And that is a beautiful legacy writing for your community, for your family, for friends, for your children, for your grandchildren. And that's something that you can get through us. And there are other places that you can get that service also. And that brings us to our next offer, which is really exciting.
Okay.
It's something that we've never offered before. And
Okay.
that is something much more condensed. When you think of doing something for 52 weeks,
It's
a
over.
whole
It's a big
year, it's a
mhm.
huge commitment. And the 52 weeks, the problem with that isn't, I mean, the expanded version of that is like the baby book, where you get a
Oh,
book and you're supposed to document all of this stuff that your child does from birth through kindergarten. I don't know. And I know that my baby book has basically got little notes that mother got when she had her baby shower. I think she also included things like, you know, weight and height and day, time of birth. I think
might
that's
have a baby picture. Might have a
maybe,
baby picture. Yeah.
but that's as far as my mom got in my baby book. And I think Michelle's doesn't even have that much in it.
Yeah.
So
Mine's pretty bare on my sons as well.
why is that? I mean,
I don't know.
you can buy beautiful, mother's journals and grandmother's journals and grandfather's journals, at Walmart, and give them to a loved one. And that's probably going to cost you 12.95.
Oh, more than that. I
Is it?
purchased one for grandma that was $25. And
And
this was been 10 years ago. No, more than
and
10 because she's been gone since 2004. It was a good long time, 10 or 15 years before she passed. There wasn't one thing written in it. And it was a lovely book.
yeah,
And all she had to do was in her handwriting, fill it in. I mean, that's all it needed.
lots of them don't have big, huge spaces. Lots of them have just, they ask a question and you literally fill in a couple of words. And
That's right.
that is still too much for lots of people to achieve. So we have come up with 2 new offers, which I think are going to help people be successful in this endeavor. So, okay.
Yeah, you
So,
said you were talking about the 90-day one. That
yes,
was
so
more
that's the first one.
more
So
compact, right?
yes, so over the course of 12 weeks, so that's 3 months, what this includes is 3 kind of coaching brainstorming sessions in the book. So over the course of 3 months, you get a coaching session at the beginning of each month that includes brainstorming and talking to you about your ideas and your life, as well as we can take conversations that happen during that and include those in the book as well.
Mm-hmm.
And so you really get support as you're going through this process with a coach. And I think,
don't you even decide on with that person, like writing prompts for those 4 weeks?
exactly. Yeah. And so if I'm sitting down with you or a loved one, and it's like, okay, let's kind of decide where we're going to go with this,
Mm-hmm.
it will be something that they will then not just go, oh, okay, I got to think about a memory from kindergarten.
Mm-hmm.
Memory from kindergarten. Yeah, there's not that sense of, I don't know what to write about. I can help facilitate their journey so that they
And
have
you
the
do that
confidence.
for us so often, before we start to write on our
Mhm.
Thursday writing times, you'll say, so what are you going to write about? And, oh,
Uh-huh.
did you think about this? Or you
Mhm.
could add that, or, whatever. And it's so
Mhm.
helpful,
Well,
really helpful.
we do that naturally. I mean, we get together, the Sidetrack sisters, the four of us, and we have a meal together.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes we've given some thought about the topic, but often we haven't.
Right.
And so we sit down and what did we write about this past week? We wrote about,
We wrote about our holidays. Do we take them one at a time or do we take them all together?
yes. So for us and our family, we celebrate Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Christmas.
Correct.
And the big joke is, around here, at like our local, I'll bring it up again, our local Walmart started putting out stuff for Christmas September 15th. I mean, crazy. What is that all
Mm-hmm.
about? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
so it seems like, especially in retail world, things are getting all jumbled up. So we were writing about if you are a purist or if you like to have your holidays all separated. And I know another time that we've talked about this is people who put up their Christmas trees before Thanksgiving,
Mm-hmm.
and how long do you keep up your Christmas tree? I mean, those are all parts of our conversation that we were having, and it was a wonderful time. And then we sat down and we all had some thoughts of what to write about.
Right, exactly. And I think that, pulling them out of your thought process, out of your brain can be very helpful because then now the hardest part in any writing is to start.
Yes,
And if you have some
exactly.
thoughts that you can put down on paper and you've kind
Mhm.
of like they've been coached by you to talk about those, you could say, oh, that's kind of overdone, or how about this? Well, this part of it would be great,
Really
and
interesting. Yes. I can
mhm,
even highlight parts that I find interesting that you might want to highlight in your writing so that
exactly. Right.
it's a really, thoughtful piece of something that you want to have forever. Mhm.
Well, and it's also, you're not alone in this. Sitting down alone and doing something like this is, I mean, makes my teeth itch. But if you have
Totally.
somebody, so yeah, have somebody supporting you and someone that you can bounce things off of and,
Yeah.
get started, I think that's a whole different scene. And
Mhm.
yeah, I think there's great opportunity with that one.
Yeah. So the first two offers we have the 52 weeks, and that's
Mhm,
something that we've had before that people are very successful with, and that works too. The second one is 3 months.
mhm,
So,
90 days.
about 90 days, three coaching sessions, three coaching brainstorming sessions with me and whoever, is working on this legacy writing, and, really getting things rolling at the beginning of each month. So at the end of 90 days, you're done. It's not dragging on for you. And the last one that we have is something that's even easier. And this is what I did with my grandpa Matt, right before he passed. And that is literally sitting down. Now, we do it here on Zoom, like you and I are doing right now.
Right.
And what I would do is sit down for 10 sessions
Mhm,
with you or your loved one and
mhm.
just prompt you, use the prompts and have you, nobody, we talk about having writer's block all the time, but nobody ever talks about having talker's block, right? And so,
Oh,
I
I'd never
would,
talk about that. No.
just like I did with my 104-year-old grandfather, I would ask him questions about things until something popped for him. And then we kind of run with that. And when he got kind of vague, I'd say, well, wait, that kid who you were just referring to, what was the name again? And make sure that the names are in there, the first name, the last name, the details. Now he lived, you said next door. Let's get some more details about that so we can
And
keep the
whatever
people
happened to
straight.
him and what's he doing now and all that kind of thing. Do you follow up with him? Do you guys ever talk? All
Yes.
those little things that can help a person. Oh, yeah, we talk now and again. And he
Yes.
came to see me, oh gosh, 2 Christmases ago. And, all those things are so valuable to put in the book, right?
Yes. And so, but then I do with those is I transcribe them into the legacy writing that you can then send using the computer, pictures that go along. I mean, now my grandpa Matt, he was 104 years old. And so he really didn't have any pictures from his childhood, from
Right.
his young, I mean, really the pictures we have are just him as an old man. Really. I mean,
And
he
that whatever
that's
you have, but that's true with any of our three offers. You can select pictures that you'd like to go into that book, and you can scan them in and get them to us, or you can, I mean, literally, I guess if you wanted to, you could send them to us. It just, however, you have to work it out with us,
yeah,
how best way to get the pictures would be. But nowadays it's pretty easy to do. And that way you're not only getting the words, but you're getting a few pictures as well. Even if it's a wedding picture and then maybe I don't know, graduation picture, different ones like that have special meaning.
yeah, exactly. So
Right?
that's the third offer that we have. And all of these offers are going to be available in 1 week. So we are starting and opening up the Sidetracked Sisters Legacy Writing starting on December 10th. Is that what I
I
put
think
down
you
here?
said 11th, I thought.
Monday, September 11th, or September. Monday,
December.
December 11th, and it's going to be closing on Sunday, December 31st at midnight.
So
So
three
that's
weeks.
for 3 weeks. You will be able to purchase either a package for yourself or for a loved one. And if you do decide to purchase it for a loved one, we'll have a gift certificate that you can print off and give to that person. That'll be kind of fun.
Absolutely. I think that's just so great. And the timing is perfect. And Lisa, why should people do this? What's in it for them? What's the deal?
Well, I'm so glad that you asked there, Judy. Huh, imagine that. Like we haven't talked about this before, right?
Never.
So, okay. So first of all, it's just the value of having these stories for your family. We were just talking a little bit ago about how, we've had some recent loved ones pass away. And once that person is gone, if their words aren't recorded and saved, it's really a sad thing.
I lost my husband in April. We all know that. And he had two children before he and I were married. And I had the lovely task of calling both children and telling them that he had passed. And they both said the same thing. Did he leave me any letters, or are there any words that, he wanted me to have? Or, it was really, and Michael was a writer, and even he didn't leave any legacy writing for his kids. And I think about that and I think, Judy, shame on you. Why weren't you working on that with him? And I mean, I have a lot of great memories, and we did journaling, he and I together, and some of those could be read by the kids, but you don't even think about the benefit of it until it's too late.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I mean, I can sit here at night when I'm missing him and I have a million questions I want to ask him. And I think, oh, why didn't I ask these questions and write it down much earlier? Because they're questions that, that his kids have. He's now got grandkids, all this kind of thing. And anyway, I hate to point out my faults, but that's one of them, is I
Yeah.
didn't even think about this close to home. And we've talked
Mm-hmm.
about it with grandmas.
Mm-hmm.
And with grandmas, a lot of it has been recipes or how they did something or
Exactly.
what prompted them. Like my grandma Cecilia and her husband Joe came over from Germany. And
Mm-hmm.
people ask me all the time, well, what part of Germany did they come from? I don't know, but I know they came from Germany. Well, Germany's a pretty big country. So yeah, it's the little stuff like that. And how wonderful to be able to look to a reference and say, oh, here it is. Here's a story about how they came over together and why they chose Wisconsin. And, I don't know. I
Yeah, I
think
mean, I ask people all the time, we live in a little burg of Wisconsin. It's like whenever I meet somebody who didn't grow up here or wasn't born here, doesn't have family here, it's like, what brought you here? It's like, why this little, spot on the
what
map?
brought you to this town or this
Yeah.
city or whatever? That's a huge one. But the other thing I want to mention to our people is when we did our first book,
Mhm.
it was when we weren't quite as disciplined. So the book is, not as how should I say it? There aren't as many consecutive writings, but
Mhm.
they're
Well,
consecutive in
I
years.
think our first one was like we had dribbles and starts. So it was, several years contribution to our blog that were consolidated into one book
One book and pictures.
and pictures.
And I remember when Michelle got that box of books and she opened it up and she handed one to each of us. It was so
Yes.
interesting. The first thing we all did was we hugged it. We hugged it close to us. And then the next thing was we started kind of paging through it. I got goosebumps. I don't know about you, but it was so rewarding and so satisfying to
A real
say,
feeling
here
of
is the
achievement.
story.
Achievement. Yes.
Yes, we
Yes.
finished this project and it wasn't something we made up in our heads. It was our history.
And what's
It's
so funny, it's not something that we've had some people purchase it, but we don't market it at all because it's really just for us, our family, our friends, our loved ones, and to show people what they can do. So
I don't
it's
see it on the New York Times bestseller list. Do you? No,
no. But that's
probably
still that
not.
sense of achievement that we have a published book. It just feels so
Well, and now
wow.
we have two.
Yes. And
Now
we're
we
well
have,
on our way to having our third one. Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
we have a whole book for 2022. And now we're working on 2023, and we're
23.
already up there at like
We we're at
500
40,
pages or something, or
48. Well, we have 48 writings. Each of us
writings.
have 48 writings in it from this year. Yeah.
And each writing for us is 4 writings for the
No,
book.
each month. Well, yeah. So, well, we consolidate all four of ours into one book. And that's
One book.
something else that we can say. I mean, you're not limited. If you want to do this as a joint project between, let's say there is a page requirement, it has to be, small. It can't be a book this big. But if you wanted to, like me and grandma write a book together about
Or
our
two
lives,
sisters write
or
a
two
book together,
sisters,
or
yep,
a couple could write a book, or
exactly.
there's so
Or
many
legacy writing.
options.
Mhm.
And I think you want to be sure people did hear that you can go to our website and you can find all the details and pricing and all that kind of thing. So
Yeah.
you're not entering into anything blind here. You know what you're getting in for. And I think the joy and the satisfaction you would feel are a huge reward for the work that you're doing.
And I guess the last thing that I want to say here, Judy, is, I've talked to people who are writers. And so this is the other side of the spectrum. We've talked about people who don't write and how really might be valuable for that person to maybe enjoy more of a 10 session interview format where they don't have to write, where they just can tell their stories and I'll transcribe them into a writing.
Mm-hmm.
But on the other side of spectrum, there might be people who are like, up in my attic, I have got a box overflowing with journals and notebooks and diaries from the time I was, this high to a grasshopper until last week when I finished another one. I journal and write all the time. That's my legacy. And I thought to myself, okay, so
How overwhelming would that be?
and boring, I think,
Yeah.
because what kid wants to sit down and spend, I think that would be kind of like finding the needle in the haystack, looking for stuff that really is pertinent and to your loved ones. I mean, do you really want to hear about, Uncle John's visit and I mean, whatever you're writing about, the boring, mundane stuff that sometimes goes into my journal. I don't think so. But you want to hear some of those, the highlight reel, right? And even the highlight reel, is going to be at least 100 pages,
Exactly.
but
Yeah,
you
the
don't want to
other
go
thing that
through
just
three
popped into my
trillion pages.
mind was what you were when you were saying that is, how about if you find a pack of love letters
Oh,
that go back to, before someone was married, or, sometimes people have ribbons around stacks, this high of love letters, and
mhm, mhm.
excerpts from those could be a wonderful published
Oh,
book
yeah.
for you to have,
Mhm.
because, probably those love letters are going to get torn and wrinkled and battered after a while, but in a book with some fun pictures, that could be really special.
That could be exactly. So I guess we can wrap that up, Judy. Story, legacy writing is what we're talking about today. And I think that this would be a wonderful gift for a mother, for a grandmother, for a grandfather, for a husband, for a beloved aunt, a friend
A
that
beloved aunt like me? No.
exactly, exactly. And now is the season, right? Whether you're gifting yourself, honoring the stories that you have inside you, or giving that to somebody else. I'm really glad that we pulled it all together and we're making that offer that you can start checking it out. And I think right now we have the wait list. And we'll make sure we get that out to you if you sign up on the wait list right now. But starting Monday, December 11th, you can actually get it purchased. And the window will be open until the end of the year. And then we'll get going with our writing in January. So
And
can't
we
wait.
just feel so that it's so important to help you share the value that we have shared from putting these words into writing. So, it's not just fun, it's rewarding. It feels so good, right?
Yes, exactly. So with that, let's wrap it up.
Okay, Lisa, we'll see you in a week.
Yep, we'll see ya. Love you.
Okay, love you too. Bye.
Bye-bye.